Hey, Tyler here again. This time we're going to take a look at the scale mode on the Yoris sequencer. So you can see I have Yoris opened up. I've attached the piano instrument to it, and we're going to take a look at this running through track 5 for now. So you'll see I have a simple pattern set up using the reference chord modes, and I have turned on the ARP to a chord mode. So let's give that a quick listen. Okay, so you can see we have all of that playing, and now we're going to jump into the scale mode. The scale mode is, unlike the other three modes, the ARP, tone, and sequence, the scale mode is not specific to each track. It's a global option. So whatever changes you make in the scale mode apply to every track across the Yoris sequencer. So the first thing you can do is you can change the mode. Right now there's just a few modes set up, but we'll add more in the future. Get rid of that. So right now I'm in a simple C major, but at any point I can change the root or the key. So in this case, let's switch to an E minor and you can hear that difference. Yeah, so that's all there is to that. It's pretty simple, setting, the mode and the root, and you can change them at any point and trust that everything in your across your tracks will maintain the new key. So now we're going to take a look at the rest of what's going on in the scale mode, and that's where the interesting stuff is, and it's all related to this global tone sequencer. You can really think of the global tone sequencer as really like any of your other sequencers in terms of how it functions, from laying down trigs to changing their notes to adding trig focus to changing the length of the sequencer. All of those processes are going to work the same. You use a keypad to select value, you press the sequence to add the value, you can hold to change the length, you can see the values at the top. If you press the page display, you'll get information on the sequence and you can change its length and resolution. So all of that's exactly the same. But you might be asking, what exactly does the global tone sequencer do? What it does is you can run, by pressing the rainbow graphic in the middle, you'll get to select which tracks you want to run through this sequence. This takes all the MIDI values that are coming out of it, so basically the last step, which is what's coming out of the ARP, and then puts them through one more layer of transformation, which is the tone sequencer. And what the tone sequencer does is says, while it's playing, you're going to shift. So we're going to go to our track 5 and apply it. So on our first, we're looking at a 4-bar length. So for the first 2 bars, I want to shift it up 3 tone steps. And then I'm going to shift it down 4, and then I'm going to shift it back up 5, just for the remaining. So you'll get to listen to that and you'll hear the dramatic difference between the sequence that we had running before. And so much like the advanced ARP mode, you can use the keypad on the right side to select the tone shift steps, but the top 8 represent a shift of up to an octave, and the bottom 8 of a shift of down an octave. Of course, depending on your scale and how many keys are in an octave. You'll see a different view if you change it to the octave mode, because we have to deal with 12 instead of 8. You can use the arrow keys on the right side to shift it down further an octave. You can go up to 8 octaves below, letting you get wildly dramatic transformations from what you originally had. You have a few options in the transformation menu to follow and to clear the sequence and shift it left and right. And like all of your other track sequencers, you can loop the tone sequence as you see fit. It also has 8 of its own patterns that you can apply to the scenes the same way you would any other track sequence. So this is just another way to add some cohesive transformations across all your tracks. Like, let's say you have a nice bass rhythm going, but you want it to start moving up and down without having to change all the tone steps in that sequence. You can just run it through the global tone sequencer and then quickly add that up and down movement. You can then run other tracks through it, and so you'll have everything kind of moving in a synchronous direction. I think that's all there is to show about the global tone sequencer. I hope you have fun playing with it, and as always, shoot me any questions if you can't figure out, or if you have any ideas that you'd love to see installed, let me know. Have a good one.